Welcome forward to star 15 of our reflections on the stars from the mantle of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So the three words we're going to be using today to help us, I suppose, reveal meaning from the last Beatitude are fortitude, Mother of Christ, and Head of the Holy Family. So straight into the last Beatitude. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So again, if you want to stop the video and give that some thought yourselves, and how that scripture text links in or speaks with those three words or concepts of fortitude, Mother of Christ, and Head of the Holy Family. So this one has actually been quite deeper than the others, because one is the last Beatitude, and I thought I've always understood it as certainly at a literal sense, and I think that's key here. I've only really explored it at a literal sense because I think that's what it's saying, i.e., you need to just follow what Jesus says, and then actually you may be persecuted for doing that, but actually you should rejoice and be glad, which means that happiness is a byproduct of doing the will of God or following the life and teachings of Jesus. However, when I was given those other three words to think about it and possibly let the text speak with those three words of fortitude, Mother of Christ, and Head of the Holy Family, I think putting in the word fortitude it was quite easy in terms of actually to carry out Jesus' will and to be persecuted for his sake does require fortitude, courage, and it is a theological virtue, and I think faith gives us that fortitude to do that. Now, I also started thinking about replacing the word my account, i.e. Jesus, with the word church or our faith, for example. So actually it's about possibly being persecuted for the sake of the Catholic Church or because of our faith or your faith. So that was another layer of allegory or meaning. The other two concepts, Mother of Christ, Head of the Holy Family, that reminded me of something I heard about, of what, of a question really about what is the ultimate vision or image of a successful society or a successful culture. And you might want to give that a bit of thought, turn the video off, try and answer that. However, given those two words or those two concepts of Mother of Christ, Head of the Holy Family, it was almost saying that actually the ultimate image of a successful culture or society actually is a mother and child. Or, to take that further, actually the trinity of a mother, father and child, like a family unit or strong relationships, which represents, well, if you look at it like this, it represents, I suppose, procreation, peace, and I suppose, society developing through the family. So we're able to have children and grow safely. And therefore, that image is one of life. It's a pro-life image. And that was rather interesting for me, for that coming out of that with those words. But also it made me think about, well, actually, is the ultimate image of a successful culture or society actually doing God's will, put it more simply, and therefore you may be persecuted for that. So that was quite an interesting thought there. So I'll give you those two models to think about. But going back to the previous one about a successful image of a society is a pro-life image, a culture of life. And therefore I questioned that. So do we live in a culture of death, or do we live in a culture of life? And what do you think about that? So I'll certainly give that some more thought. But we've talked about it before in these reflections. And again, maybe a successful culture or society is seeking the truth, beauty and goodness. And therefore I started asking myself the question, so is the pro-life message truthful, beautiful and good? So, and then asking, well, is the anti-pro-life message truthful, beautiful and good? And then you could keep asking yourself those questions. Is the family image that we talked about truthful, beautiful and good? And is carrying out God's will truthful, beautiful and good? So maybe that's one way of judging anything you do. Ask yourself, is this truthful? Is this beautiful? And is this good? So I'll leave you with all those reflections and thoughts and questions. And until tomorrow, God bless.